Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Tuba. I am representing Content Training and Consultancy Services. In this event, we are going to celebrate Mahmood Siddiqui's PfMP uh, success. This is all about his journey, his PfMP journey. He has earned his PfMP credential last week with all above targets, which is a marvelous achievement. So in this event, he is going to speak up about his journey, his success formula, which worked for him, and useful insights throughout his journey. So let's begin the conversation with a brief introduction of our senior delegate, Mahmood Siddiqui sir, and then we will proceed with the conversation formally. Assalamu alaikum, Mahmood sir. We are pretty much honored to have you here. Thank you so much to take out time to have this conversation with us. So our PfMP delegates would like to know a bit about yourself first.
Okay, thank you, Tuba, and thank you for arranging this session. I think a lot of people will benefit from it, like I've benefited from other sessions. So my introduction is I'm a chemical engineer. I have been in industry for last 31 years now, and I've worked in different sectors: energy, fertilizer, digital, and petrochemical. And right now, I'm looking after one of the corporate functions at one of the largest conglomerate of Pakistan.
Great. So Mahmood sir, starting with the conversation, why PfMP, especially when you have no previous history with the PMI? What made you think that PfMP is a suitable credential for yourself? So yeah, something about that.
All right. So in last 5 or 10 years, I've handled multiple teams and multiple projects, and I've been witnessing people getting certifications of PMP, PGMP, and PfMP. So this motivated me that why I cannot do such certifications while I'm managing those people who have been doing it. So this was the biggest motivation, and I talked to one of the colleagues who was also your mentee. So he introduced me these terminologies. I knew PMP. I came to know PfMP after talking to guy who actually got help from you, and then I studied different things. I also talked to you, and it looked like with my experience of plant manager, where I had multiple portfolios and big budgets and big projects, the portfolio management professional was the most suitable certification for me. So that is how I ended up in this certification.
Great. So now that you are certified already, and Alhamdulillah, with all 5 above targets, which is marvelous, and that's the best one can achieve in this elite and precious credential. Do you think that PfMP is going to help you in your professional job, in your organizational role, and generally in your professional career?
Yes. So while I started studying this syllabus and the I consulted book, I found out that it is much more relevant and helpful for me to channelize my experience. So I've been doing most of those things which this program actually brings to the table, but I didn't know the structure as such. So the minute I started reading this, I was still managing few projects and few portfolios. So I started applying those things in my uh, real life, real life job scenario. And uh, this was just after starting the study. So I'm sure with all those learnings, the connection of why we do different things, it will help me a lot.
Great. Yes, I also think the same, that it doesn't matter which industry one belongs to, PfMP and generally all the PMI credentials are applicable across the industries, across the regions, and this is like one of the many beauties of these credentials. Okay, so one thing that I particularly would like to talk about, Mahmood, is like, is your struggle, if there was any, with respect to the PMI mindset, because you were altogether new to PMI when you joined this course, and uh, when you thought about this idea that you would be directly going with PfMP and there was no PMP or PGMP or ACP, which usually is a regular path in case of professionals. So did you face any struggle? Because usually people know the terminologies, like, there's a specific language that PMI speaks, there's a specific way they write their books and everything. So was there any struggle with respect to establishing initial level understanding?
Uh, no, I would rate it as not, if not easy, then also not too difficult for me. Because I've been studying these tools and applying those things in different ways and means. Because my teams have been using those tools and they were PMP, PFMP. So I was familiar with some of the tools and the techniques, but I just couldn't connect all those things under one structure or framework. So that was probably the biggest thing that I've done in my study and preparation. That how do we connect different activities? Like if there are 16 processes, are they in series? Are they in parallel? So which thing comes first? So that was the mental map which I was developing while studying the course.
Great, great. This is good to know that you were able to get along well with the standard and the terminologies and the language. And I myself was a witness of that as well. But I wanted people to learn from you that even if you are starting off directly with PfMP because you qualify for the experience, this is not that difficult. This is actually pretty manageable. Subject to the condition that we have the relevant experience and skill set. I would say not a skill set, but relevant experience and relevant, understanding of the projects and programs in your portfolio already. So, particularly if I talk about your exam preparation journey, because this is like something of utmost interest to the PfMP delegates, like. How did you study? What was the active time, like active period for studying? Any particular routine that you followed in your last couple of weeks? Any particular pattern that you, if you followed, or any other advice with respect to time management or just, you know, getting on the nerves? And if things getting on the nerves, then how you, how you tackle with that. Anything that you would like to share with you with respect to your exam preparation journey?
Okay, so I'll start with my uh, failure first. So in my first attempt, which was last year, I started and I basically spent 10 or 15 hours on preparing for this certification. And those were basically your recorded sessions, which I started with. And I left because of my job change and similar things. And then I didn't look back, or then I never started it. So since we have limited time, so if you followed up with me and you basically encouraged me to at least spend some time. And when we talked, probably that was the best time because I foresaw that I will be having a couple of, yes, a couple of months to prepare for this. So I targeted uh, based on discussion with you. And I clearly remember that it was March 20th this year. I started preparing, and the most difficult part was probably going through those recorded sessions because it gets boring. 3 hours long session, and you are basically listening to those things, making some notes and different things. Probably that was the hardest part. Then, after your advice, I started the mock exams. I started consulting book, and one thing that I started along with the preparation was my Gemini Gem, learning gem. So I also onboarded that gem just to clarify a few concepts that will come along during the preparation. So that helped me a lot. Your provided stuff was very good, especially the mock exams. And I clearly remember after spending like 50 hours, I started mock exams. And after two mock exams, my understanding was very clear. And the third, my first exam score was 50, then 60, and then 80. So probably that was the sound barrier that I broke. And after my third, fourth, fifth mock, I felt comfortable. I could connect different things, which those questions asked for, and you have to think rationally according to the program, according to the framework, not through your experience. So probably that was the correction which was made earlier in the game, and then whatever I followed after that, it was probably preparing for the exam. And I think I'd spent less than 100 hours on the entire thing. So it was 6 weeks from start till I appeared in the exam, 7 weeks rather.
This is correct. So when Mahmood actually joined us, joined OTTC for PfMP, that was like an year ago. I think April last year or May last year,
May,
something.
June, May, June.
Yeah, May,
Yes.
June last year. And we got his application done right away. And actually, his eligibility was about to expire in this year, maybe like end of May or somewhere in June. So that was like kind of an urgent situation for him because of XYZ ABC reasons, he was not able to get along. And of course, he's working at a senior position in his organization. So of course, that the demand of the role and the work life is not easy for him. So there were multiple reasons, and he was like in a switch as well during that time. So the point is that he was not able to get along. So he started off, then like after a couple of weeks, he quit. Then he started off again. Then he was not able to cope up because of multiple reasons. So he was not consistent actually. And initial target was November 2025 to appear in the exam, and that was of course missed because of exam availability. But like when I reached out to him in March, stating that the eligibility is going to expire in May, somewhere in May or June, and now is the time to just resume on it. It's like kind of a now or never situation. Then actually he buckled up his seatbelt and he started off again. And that was actually the time when he never, uh, discontinued. He actually was very active in those 5 to 6 weeks. And he prepared for like less than 2 months. It was not even 2 months because he started off like somewhere in the end of March, as he mentioned, 20th March. and he was ready by the end of April. He booked his exam on 6th May, but he was ready by the end of April. So the point over here is that this credential, if you do it with consistency and with the right experience and with the right mindset with you, it can be achieved. And also if your application is done, because application may take some time for approval, it can be done in 4 to 6 weeks time as well, with the right preparation model, the right roadmap, and the right focus. So yeah, and of course, the course material was provided by us. Everything within the capacity of mocks and artifacts, everything was provided by us. But everyone's way of coping up with that, everyone's way of utilizing that is different. Right? Mahmood Sahab, if we take the conversation forward, if you would like to share any thing with respect to your exam experience, like when you were in the exam room or when you were going to the exam room, anything that you followed and that worked for you. So as an advice before the exam, a day before the exam, during the exam, with respect to time management or dealing with your anxiety, your business, anything that you would like to share with your delegates.
Okay, so just 1 week before the exam, I also had discussion with you, and I felt comfortable, and I was ready for exam. In last 3-4 days, I then again studied the syllabus, your provided material, the book itself, and on second last or last day, I thought that I know nothing about the exam or stuff like that, because I was everyone has stress of exam. So when I tried to recall just 1 day before, so my mind was completely blank. So I just relaxed after talking to you. You suggested that don't do anything, keep it light at the last moment. So I didn't bother about the preparation. So on the morning of test exam, since my slot was 11 a.m., so I had breakfast. I looked at my ITTO sheet, and just saw in a glance that how does the program look like, and I went to the center. It was pretty okay. The exam start time was fine. The setup was very good. I was worried about few things like the calculator and the paper or any sheet. So center provided me everything. So when I started exam, my worry was how would I sit for um, 270 minutes. So this was the biggest pressure. Uh, anyway, I then developed a plan as per your guidance. I split the entire time into 4 quarters. I tried to do 50 questions in first hour, 15 second, and by the time I was 2.5 hours into the exam, I saw that I've done 120, 130 questions. So I was pretty comfortable that I have just 50, 60 questions left, and I have 2 hours. So I completed the exam around 45 minutes before that. I took 15 minutes just to see or review, because the tool gives you very, very good experience. So you can mark where you are not 100% confident that which questions you want to review later on. So I marked few questions. I didn't bother about too many things. So those are 5 or 6 questions. I left it for the end time review. And when I had that time, I reviewed those questions. So those are okay. The calculation was fine because I had one simple calculator built into the application, and I had I had that erasable sheet with me and board marker where I could write and solve the questions. So I think those were like less than 10 calculation type questions. Otherwise, it was all subjective. And the questions were logical, reasonable, simple, and the tool itself was very comfortable from the point of view of marking questions, calculator, and going back to your previous question or going forward. So that was great experience as far as the uh, test interface is concerned. And other than that, time was a bit pressure at the start, but I managed it very well. I was able to take a 5 minutes break for restroom. So it was all fine, no bad experiences as such. Uh, Rather, it was very good experience. So, considering my experience with the preparation and the time and the learning that I have, I'm one of the old school who has never done any certification. This was my first certifications after 30 years of my university exam. So my passion now has grown, and I think I'll have more certifications as I go along
Great,
because
great.
it was very good experience. The learning itself, mentoring, coaching in a completely different domain. So uh, and then talking to people like you who motivate others because you are one person who has encouraged me to take this certification and prepare for it and then go for the exam. Otherwise, it would not have been possible.
Thank you so much, Mahmood Sahib. And yes, at times we do not realize the importance of, some tools or techniques or credentials or other aspects. But when we get into that and when we start exploring by ourselves, then based on the experience, our opinion uh, gets changed. And this has happened to me like a while ago about these certifications as well. I used to think on the same lines that this is like not really needed. But actually, it depends on what you need these credentials for. It totally depends on your thought process and how you're going to utilize it later on in your career. But this is like a long debate, and we do not really want to get into that. But yes, I understand your point. And to be honest with you, you have not only passed it with flying colors, but but I can also vouch for that, that you actually have done the due diligence as well. So this is not only about earning the badge, this is also about, adding value to your profile, to uh, others' experience who work with you in the customer capacity, in the team capacity, in the stakeholders or partners capacity. They also start getting benefited from your skill set as well in a variety of direct and indirect ways. So I see it this way, and this is exactly what's the meaning of value addition. So, um, one other thing that I would like you to talk about in Memusa before we proceed forward is while mock practice, the mocks that you practice in the during this journey, were those helpful in the exam? I'm not saying that those questions or those practices are going to appear in the exam as it is, but that exercise helped you in the exam, yes or no? And if yes, then in what way? Because people actually confuse it like when we say mocks are important or mocks are useful, they consider that the same questions are going to appear in the exam, and it's like just that those 1100 questions are going to be enough to get ready for the exam and pass it. So, what would you say about the mock exams?
Okay, so I think your knowledge is not useful unless and until you apply it. So mocks basically prepare you for applying that knowledge. And any question which triggers that thought that where this question is coming from, and among four options, which is the best answer to the question. So probably that process itself is a learning. So I would, if I have to rate my learning from this PFMP, I would give 50% to knowledge gaining and 50% to knowledge application through mock exams. So during mock, you come up with practical situations because the question is written in that way. And then there are four behaviors or four options or four ways of solving that practical example. So mocks basically help you with those kind of things. And I think the lifelong learning which I will carry is not probably the textbook. It's the mistakes that I've made in my mocks, and I've learned from those things after checking those questions and then regaining that knowledge or correcting my knowledge.
This is correct. And one other thing that Memo Sahib, I would like people to listen it from you, coming directly from you, is like this myth which is there in the market that you need to, and probably you had actually faced this thing in your case as well, that you were worried about learning the ITTUs and processes by heart or memorize it. And after after getting done with this exam, you must have understood that although the need of knowing ITTUs processes is there, but not in that way that people are usually assume it, like, keeping it like as something in the head without understanding it. So there is no memory test in the exam. Even a single question is not going to be there, which is going to directly recall your memory in a way that you know what's the answer, but you don't understand it. This way, it's not going to be tested in the exam. So do you want to talk about it based on your experience?
Okay, so you're right. In fact, during my preparation, whenever I used to answer on one of the mock question, I had to refer to my ITTO sheet in the beginning, and then I thought, what if I develop the entire thing in my mind? So just memorize it. I tried with that as well, and then solved few questions. So probably memorizing or not memorizing it, it will make a few questions going wrong, maybe a 5, 10, but it is not necessary. I agree with you because uh, those perfection in your answers come from practicing through mocks and not memorizing things. But it is always useful to refer to just one document while preparing for your exam. So if you are referring to one ITTO sheet, just make it a standard one and don't switch to other things just to basically help your memory to recall those things. So uh, I think I would not eliminate the need of memorizing, but it is also not mandatory.
Yes, so basically memorizing in a way that you understand it. So you keep it in
Yes.
the memory based on your own created mind map that you have understood and integrated with based on the knowledge you have acquired with that skill set. This is exactly what is needed in the exam. And everybody may have their own way. We have our own way. We have shared artifacts to help delegates with that. But every person is different when it comes to learning. However, just learning by heart without understanding, that's going to be
Yes,
absolutely useless
I
in the
agree.
exam. Absolutely useless. So at times I get this question as well from our delegates who are enrolled with us, that Tuba, what is the need of, And those direct questions in some of the initial level, basic level mocks, which actually ask about what's the input, what's the output. If that is not needed, then why are those questions there in the mocks? And this is a very valid question. The reason is that uh, those artifacts and how they are created, what's the process, what are the activities involved, that is like needed to help you understand or help you answer those questions which are going to appear later in the mocks or in the exam as well. You cannot answer without knowing that basic elementary level thing. However, that elementary level thing is not going to be directly tested in the exam, but that's
Yes,
like part of the journey. That's needed as like a stepping stone to get to the goal state.
I agree.
So this is exactly what is recommended from our side, and I believe Mahmood is also going to recommend it, that you trust the process, you trust your mentor, you trust their way, because we know it based on the experience in this industry, that what's the best way that usually work for most of the delegates, in a way that it's easy to follow, it's understandable, and it's not overwhelmed. This is very important, because if you get overwhelmed, then probably you're going to quit it. You're not going to continue it. Right? So we have to keep it easy, understandable, absorbable, and at the same time effective as well, so that you see the result for yourself. Okay, so Mehmood sir, for taking the conversation forward, um, you have opted for our PfMP self-paced exam prep course, and I was your direct mentor on this process. Um, what was your experience throughout this journey, and based on your the mentoring course that you have taken with me, the overall support that we have provided, the course itself, comprising of videos, slides, mocks particularly, that's like of utmost interest to most of the delegates. And application process as well. Yes, we would like you to talk about your application process, because that is like one of the most difficult areas in this overall journey. So anything that you would like to talk about your experience with me as your mentor and on-time training consultancy as the training partner?
All right. So, Tuba, I think uh, your follow-up and planning the entire thing, even starting with application, so putting some target dates and then following up on completing that step. Uh, that is one of the best thing that I would seen in many coaches or mentors uh, in the industry. Secondly, I guess your approach of guiding people on how to go through the uh, entire syllabus, uh, that is very practical. So you don't expect people to finish everything in 2 weeks. So this is very practical aspect that everyone has his or her own pace, and considering constraints and limitations, they have to plan their journey themselves. But you help in basically planning that journey. So that was one 24/7 available help which I had with me to prepare for the entire exam and certification, and getting that knowledge, testing that knowledge, and going through all those mocks. Probably that's the best thing. So if I if I have to recommend a few things to people, it would be the professional service. It is the preparation of each and every step with that attention to detail which is required, and then following up with the mentee, how are they doing, and above all, I guess it's the encouragement that you provide to people without any delay. It's prompt, it's sincere, as well as it's encouraging that people should continue and finish this entire exercise. So those are few of the things that I've seen. I've not seen the content of other people, but I'm sure the content that you have shared is definitely the best one.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Sap. And do you want to talk about the application experience? Because this is one of the most challenging experience in this journey, which probably was not challenging, or even it was not even like something that you would say that has been that has bothered you ever. But it actually is not easy. It's very typical. So, what was your experience in this regard?
It was 1 year ago almost.
Yeah.
So uh, I don't recall each and everything, but it was very easy because of you, baby. So you guided me. We developed that content and application together, and you knew each and everything. So it was easy.
Yes,
I don't recall any learning coming out of that process.
but your experience was pretty awesome with respect to, it was easy for me to map it to the PMI way of portfolio management. It was very easy. It was just that you had your own terminologies, you had your own way of saying it, and the
Mm.
PMI has its own way of saying it. But that mapping is needed when it comes to application. And this is exactly where our help comes, that we know how to map it in a way that it looks unique to that delegate, but it also completely aligns with the PMI standard, and it is completely aligned with the PMI ECU as well. So this is what is required when it comes to application.
Yep.
Even the most senior delegates are not able to do that mapping, right? This is like a challenging step. I know this. In fact, like a couple of delegates are in contact with me who have got their application rejected, and they want to fix it and they don't know how to fix it. So this happens like, every other day we come across those delegates who fail it, who get rejection from PMI because of that same mistake, because they try to write it in the same language as they speak in their organizations,
Mm.
and PMI doesn't accept it. PMI
Yes.
wants you to understand their standard. They want you to write your experience, but in their language. This is the
Oh,
expectation of the application, right? If you understand the expectation, you will never get it.
okay.
So I'm seeing like a couple of questions in the chat box related to application. We are going to answer it in the end. Mehul sir, at times this debate, I would say debate or argument, it occurs with my delegates or prospective delegates as well, that people like, get into that debate that credentials are not helpful, and they just keep you like, very bookish in an ideal world, and the real world is very practical, non-ideal, and there is no payback or there is no value addition with these badges. It's like just a piece of paper or just a badge to add to your portfolio, and not more than that. So how do you see, and of course, you can have your own version. I can have my own version on this question. How do you see the concept of return or payback on these credentials?
So, Tuba, I think this is the most relevant certification for a person like me who has handled multiple portfolios and projects. So everything that most of the things that I've studied are applicable in real life. So it's a direct connection. So I started with, I think at start I said that everything was, most of the things I knew. I just have to basically package it in a different way to qualify for the exam. And certification is probably a test of, it is the stamp which is qualifying me as that professional, because I had that experience. Now I have standardized my knowledge according to the standardizing body, and it is much more acceptable in the market. So the minute I guess I posted it 3-4 days ago, and I've already received too many uh, PfMP, PMP people, friends request, they want to connect me, and I feel elevated that my stature in the professional world has improved. I I was doing what I've done previously, but I think now people will realize that this is one authentic person which knows the technique and who has got that skill certification as well. And we can always go to him for any such job clarification or discussion. So I see a value in it. I think when you call yourself professional, professional is not per se complete without a certification. So that's what I wanted to say. Most of the organizations are operating, but they still go for ISO certifications because they want to test if their internal work processes are according to standards or not. So probably this is the same thing, same analogy that applies to me. I am doing what I've been doing. Maybe this certification has added few more tools in my toolbox, but still the best thing that I've got is the respect within my organization, in my professional circle. Now people not only know that this is 30 years experienced professional, rather they say it's a 30-year certified professional.
It's a spot on answer. And I mean, there could be many benefits to the credentials, subject to the condition that you acquire it with the right process, by doing the due diligence to that credential, and you acquire it not for the sake of earning that, but you also would like to upskill yourself as well. Right? The intention should be pure, but one thing which is for sure, and that would start from the very moment you earn it, is increase credibility. Your credibility gets better. People start giving you respect. You start getting highlighted among the crowd. This starts happening from the very moment you earn it in your respective circle, on social media, everywhere. You will see the difference. Before and after difference is very clear with these credentials. One last thing, Mahmood Sahab, this has been a very useful conversation. I am enjoying it a lot, and I'm sure the PfMP delegates would find it helpful. One final word of advice that you would like to give to the aspirants who are actively preparing for PfMP, or anyone who is considering PfMP as the next career step.
Okay, so you're saying that any advice to people who are pursuing PfMP?
Correct.
So I think the best advice that I can give to them is to basically work with Tuba.
Okay, thank you.
And second best would be to make consistent effort. So this is my learning, that I had ups and downs during preparation. So probably it's not that difficult. The concepts are very easy, and things are even easier the way 𝗂𝗏 teaches this entire content, and you just need to have basically spend time. So 100, 120 or 30 hours. So that's the best sweet spot where you can spend and earn this certification. I guess Subra has one or two questions which I can answer.
Yes, and now we are
So,
going to take the audience questions. So first we are going to answer those which are already put in the comment area, and then if anybody has questions for Mahmood sir or myself, they can unmute and they can ask their question. So Shubra is asking a couple of questions actually. Let's see what these questions are. What to write and what not to write in the PfMP application. I think Mahmood sir, let me take this one.
yes.
Shubra, in the application, as I mentioned already, we write your experience to fulfill the PMI's eligibility for portfolio management. And let me give you a quick um, insight about what really is there in the application eligibility. So they want you to have overall 8 years of experience in the industry with any experience. Like overall, you need to have a minimum of 8 years of experience. Along with that, they want you to have a focused 4 years of minimum 4 years of portfolio management experience. As per their definition of portfolio management, you need to have that. And the way it is written in the application is pretty subjective and comprehensive. So you need to answer, a couple of subjective questions with respect to those 5 domains, which are actually studied in the skill set: the strategy, governance, performance, risk, and communication. So this is exactly what I was talking about a couple of minutes ago, that while writing the application, PMI expects that you write your own unique experience in the industry. They do not want you to copy anyone's. They do not want you to just copy paste the standard in the application. They are definitely uh, like their tool or whatever they have at the back end to check that. That's going to reject it if it's like just a copy paste from the internet, or it's just a plagiarism, or just a standard version in the like the version of a standard in the application. They are not going to accept it. They want you to write your own thing. However, by mapping it with a PMI's standard of portfolio management. So, of course, I can't cover everything in this call, but this is what is expected. And what to write and what not to write is totally dependent on what you are choosing as the question for strategy governance areas. For instance, if I talk about the strategy area, so there's like a question which talks about the prioritization model. Like for your portfolio, if you have created a prioritization model, and if yes, then what you have put in there, how did you prioritize based on that? How did you categorize the portfolio components? How did you get it approved? How did you make it useful for your portfolio components? What value you added to the portfolio based on that prioritization model? Now, that's the question. How you are going to answer it would define your understanding of the importance of prioritization of the work in the portfolio, and what's your basis, what's your tool for that. So, of course, how that is written would define that if you understand the concept of prioritization of projects and programs in the portfolio, and if you have any ideally quantitative mechanism for that. That's just an example, right? Of course, the same way we have governance, performance, risk, and communication areas as well. So first you introduce your portfolio to the PMI organization, and then you answer these questions for the 5 domains. So for that, what we do is, what my process is, first we understand the portfolios. Of course, for that particular delegate, they may come from energy industry, they may come from IT, from education, from pharma, from wine and care. Of course, all the industries, all the regions are acceptable for this petition. So first we understand their experience. We map that to the eligibility criteria. Then I myself write it for my PfMP delegates. And like I said in the beginning, this is actually a difficult process. It's not easy. But we have been doing it for more than 5 years now, so we know how to make it work. If you need details, we can connect offline to talk about it. Then you are talking about what to carry and what not to carry during PfMP exam. Mahmood sir, you can take this.
Yes, sure. So I think only two documents are required. One is your ID, and if you can carry two IDs, that is very good. And the other thing is your application or the test slot confirmation. So that printout should be with you. Otherwise, you cannot carry anything inside the test center inside the or while you are working on the screen. You will be provided with a locker where you can put all your stuff, your mobile phone and watch and everything over there, even your water bottle. So you cannot take it inside. And reading glasses are allowed and only one set. So I use reading glass for near vision and laptop, two different ones, but I was allowed to take only one. So that's the experience.
So in
Mahmood,
the
thanks.
yeah, sure. Yes, please.
Yeah, so I think you mentioned, and nicely you explained the details, but you mentioned somewhere that for some of the questions probably we need to calculate. So any kind of calculator is, so that's why probably I mentioned those point. Calculator is possible to carry or not recommended carry?
Okay, so your interface will ask you if you want to go through the demo of that application, and they teach you each and everything available in the interface on the application. So there is a tab which opens up a basic calculator, and you can use your numpad to basically do those calculations. And secondly, they provide you with sheets, erasable sheets and board marker, or maybe a simple sheet, and because they don't want to take you anything away from the center, so they use erasable sheets as well as board marker, so you have to erase everything once you complete your test. So those two things are very helpful. Otherwise, I've mentioned that you can mark any question which you want to review at the end of the test. So you can mark those questions, and there are few other options which you can exercise, and everything is built into the platform, the application.
This is correct, and you are not allowed to take anything with you. The simple is that. Even if you are going to take that with you, they are going to hold it. They're going to place it in the locker in front of you, and they are going to give you the keys of the locker. The keys actually go with you in the exam room. So you can access that locker if they allow you during the exam as well. However, in their presence, in the presence of the invigilator, and only if they allow, because in the PfMP exam, there is no scheduled break. So that exam time, 240 minutes, is a consecutive slot. Ideally, during that time, you are not allowed to leave the exam. But if due to some emergency, for instance, because of some urgent reasons, you need water, because they do not allow to keep water bottle with you during the exam as well. They do not allow you to eat anything during the exam as well. So in case you need that, they are going to accompany you. You are going to open the lock, use that thing in front of them, and then you are going to lock it, come back to the seat, and then the invigilator is going to be with you. So they are actually, the center is pretty strict about the rules and regulations imposed by PNI. The calculator is embedded in the exam simulator, and so it's going to be a basic one, not the scientific. Very simple. Okay, a couple of other queries that I'm seeing from your side, Shubhra. What was the approach of your learning, watching, listening, the audiovisual or reading books? I think Mahmood Sahab has talked about it later on. But very briefly, Mahmood Sahab, if you want to just summarize it again.
Okay, so the initial knowledge gaining is 30-40 hours where you go through these video learning sessions or your online application, classes. And then you also refer to your main book provided by the standard, where you can read those particular sections. And once you do that, maybe it's 40, 50 hours, you start preparing for the exam, which is like going through the mock exams. And when you do your mock exam, I used to solve 5 questions and then look for the right uh, check the answers with answer sheet. And I used to go to that tool and maybe go Gemini Gem, where I used to study further if there was any wrong question or misunderstanding of the tool, like force field or any new thing, because you have to read any new thing 2 or 3 times before it gets into your basic memory. So that was my technique. I used to solve 5 questions, review those 5 questions, learn anything which was not correct or I didn't know, and then do next 5 set of questions, next set of questions. So it was a repetitive process. So if I have to split my entire time, it was 50% gaining that knowledge and 50% applying that knowledge through mock exams.
Great. Hope that answers your question, Swapna. Lastly, he's asking about any tricks on revision practice and notes. That has been discussed in detail. But yes, quickly, if if you want to talk about it.
So I guess when your answers, if you are doing 10 questions and your answers are 100% correct as per the mock exams, that's the level that you should try to achieve. Maybe there will be 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10, but you need to achieve few few cohorts where you get 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. So this is the KPI that I basically used. Otherwise, for revision, uh, like I said, wherever you go wrong in your mock exam, just open up that chapter or the tool where you couldn't answer. So just revise that portion so that it gets into your head.
Yes, and for the practice, we also recommend like set of mocks, like out of many mocks that we provide, there are like set of mocks that we recommend that should be done even in the second and third round as well. And a couple of artifacts that we have created for our delegates, we expect those artifacts. So that's there in the final exam prep folder in our archive. So we expect the delegates in the last 2 to 3 days that they revise all those slides and those artifacts before going to the exam room, and that really helps actually. So yes, there's a strategy. Of course, when you go to a mentor or to a partnering organization, they are going to provide you a full strategy. This is why people hire us, that they do not have to struggle all by themselves that what's going to be the right way of going about it. We already have the right way. You just have to trust the process, trust our advice, and trust the artifacts that we are going to provide. Because it's all of these are proven strategies. So with Memusa, we actually have completed our 75 PfMP delegates at OTTC. And I'm going to post that as well after this call. I mean, we used to have many delegates, but full credential support has been completed for 75 delegates in the past 4 years. And this is a big number because PfMP delegates, like in totality, since the time this credential has been started, I think back in 2017 or 16, it's 3,000 at a global scale, not more than 3,000. So we have helped out 75 delegates for full credential. And this is a milestone for us. So we have actually applied these proven strategies on these delegates. And of course, we keep on evolving our artifacts, our material, our strategies as well. But whatever strategies are there, those have been helpful to the delegates. So this is why people hire us. Thank you so much, Shubhra, for the questions. These were helpful. And thank you so much, Mahmood sir, for taking out time and to have this conversation with us. This has been an insightful session. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm sure audience also enjoyed it as well. If anybody has any other questions for Mahmood sir, just Tariq, do you have any question?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tariq Raza and I work for Mahmood. It's a matter of great pride for myself and our whole work group, the amazing certification that Mahmood has achieved. Even without the certification, he continues to impress us every day in every engagement we have with him, with his broad-based knowledge and experience and expertise regarding the industry and the management systems that are in place. And I'd like to congratulate Mahmood on the achievement that he has received. So just one question for Mahmood, that out of his entire the footprint of his expertise and experience, was there any special part which contributed to this certification? For me, the certification represents like an independent validation of his skills and his knowledge and his management style. We know it, like having worked with him, but this certification gives it a independent validation that Mahmood has what it takes to be a leader in the industry, etc. So again, just one question, Mahmood, that which part of your working experience was more contributory towards this certification?
Okay, so I guess my last assignment as plant head, because it was a big facility and multiple things. I worked there for 5-6 years, and I completed few of the big projects that mattered even for Pakistan. And that was one learning where it was great team. It had many people over there, 150 or 200 engineers, and then assistant engineers and many other people. So while managing that facility, I guess I learned a lot, and that's why I knew that subject informally. But when I went through this entire content with the help of Tuba, so it was a super experience, because I could correlate each and everything that I've done at plant with the knowledge that I've gained through certification.
Fantastic. Glad to know this. Usually, I do not come across these type of comments from the delegates of Pakistan, even if they are done with the PfMP with us, because most of the time I hear this type of comments that these credentials probably are not meant for Pakistani professionals, because the way our culture operates and the way organizations think in our region is very, very different, and it's far away from any standard or any type of bookish knowledge. It doesn't apply in case of Pakistan. To some extent, I agree, but it totally depends on the organizations. I know organizations even in Pakistan where these standards, I would not say fully applied, they're not fully applicable. I do not say that even if there is a single organization at a global scale where these credentials are fully applicable, but to some extent, even if 30-40% application is there of what you have learned, then this is a marvelous achievement. And if you already had been to an assignment or before getting on this, and you now are able to map it to the PMI's learning, this is even fantastic, because you are not going to apply it to a new assignment. You have completed an assignment, and now you are able to map it to the different processes and different deliverables. So this is like this in itself is a validation that you were in the right role, you are in the right role, and whichever role you are going to perform later on is going to be even better than before. So yeah, so this is like all good for you. Any other questions for Mahmood sir?
Okay, great. So thank you, Tuba. Thank you, Tariq Saab. It was wonderful talking to you and Shubhra and other people. So thank you for participating. I enjoyed it a lot. Tuba, it was great experience working with you. So you can close the session now.
Thank you so much, Mahmood Saab. Thank you everyone for joining the session and for participating. We will be back very soon with a new PfMP story and with their experience. Till then, take care. Goodbye. And if you're interested in our PfMP services, you can always reach out to me directly or on our official channels, which have been shared in the comment area. Thank you so much. I will see you all very soon with a new delegate. Till then, take care. Goodbye.
Thank you.